Good morning. Today I want to talk about the old saying of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Um, and I, that's not true. You can do whatever it is till the day you die to change who you are or how you present yourself in the world. What happens is we become comfortable in where we are and we become entitled to a position or a title or a lineage. Whether you're grandparent, parent, sister, brother, mother, father, it doesn't matter. You get a title in someone's life and you become comfortable with it. Um, and I understand it's painful to take a look at yourself and decide that there needs to be a change in how you present yourself to the world, but it can happen. And the thing is, that it's a necessary evil, something that needs to be changed by how you feel within yourself when you react or treat someone a certain way and you instantly get a throwback in your mind or in your stomach, or there's some type of pain that you feel that you shouldn't have done it, or you shouldn't have said it that way, or there should have been you should have monitored your emotions before you let them explode. But I really want to get into the title of parents in your life. Now, it's a two-way street. There have been, I've recognized that there are parents that have children and to make sure these children become their gophers or their strength, their energy. Um, when we were coming up, we didn't have remote controls. So it was get up and turn the channel, the TV channel, or go get me a cup of water. And in itself, there's nothing wrong with a child doing those things for their parent. But when it becomes expected or it becomes um, a demand, and you as the parent have become lazy, and you feel that since this child is in your house and you're taking care of them, they should get up and do these things for you. No, they shouldn't. They should want to. It should be a pleasure for them to do that. But by the same token, are you providing them with the respect that they desire or they deserve to even want to do that for you? Are you providing them the love and the care and the nurturing and the reciprocal actions to want to have them want to do that for you? There are so many parents that expect so much from their child, expect them to do or be what they weren't when they were a child. And then you're pushing the kid in that direction, or you're pushing the idea that this is what they need to be because that makes you comfortable as the parent. um, Lately, especially in my town here, I see children just running amok without parents, or they appear to have never had any parenting. My kids used to always tell me, "Mom, you's everybody's parent." I remember we were on the public bus, public transportation when they were little. And I don't know why these kids were riding the bus by themselves, but they were. And they got up and they were walking around the bus and disturbing people. And back then, as a parent, I could do this. Nowadays, you do that, you might get beat up by the kid as well as the kid's parent. But I stood up and demanded that they sit down, because not because I was a parent or not because and I was an elder, because they were disturbing the peace of the other people that were on the bus. So having them be respectful of the other folks was more. Sorry, I had to stop and get some water there. Where was it? We were talking about the matter of respecting each other as individuals. Now, as a parent, we decide, whether on purpose or by accident, to give birth and bring forth a child in this world, and we are just the conduit. We do not provide the spirit or any of the mechanisms that allow this this embryo to grow and become boy, girl, or what have you, um, that's coming through you. You are just the vessel. You are the vase that holds the flowers. You are not the flower. Now, as the vase that holds the flower, you provide the water, which helps the flowers stay fresh, or nutrients, or sustainability, the sun. You provide those things as the vessel, but you are not the flower. The flower has its own essence, its own reason for being. Now, as a parent, our goals are to be aware of what that child is in need of to become who they are to be. Now, and the only way to do that is to know who you are, because there's no way for you to hear or to understand what is needed to be provided if you don't know who you are. And that, in again, it doesn't matter what age you are, whether you are a young parent or an old parent or a grandparent. There's always a moment, a time in life where you can do it better, where you can change, where you can see who you are, what you did or didn't do, what you provided or didn't provide, by way of nurturing, by way of love, by way of care, by way of guidance. And it can change. And in doing so, no matter what age you are, you change your whole life, you change your whole lineage, you change um, your going out of this world. Because when you close your eyes and leave this physical place, you leave, excuse me, you leave behind everything that you've done, how you've done it, how you thought it, how you felt about it. You leave it here. Just a second. And you leave it here for everybody else to assimilate how your life impacted theirs. And most people don't care. And this is who I am. This is what I'm not going to change. And a lot of that comes from just being pure lazy and afraid to see that you may have been wrong, or you may have been incorrect in your thinking, or in the way that you've viewed things over life. And the fear part is that you don't want to take that mask off. You've worn it for so long. This is who you've been for so long. It's like either other people accept it or they don't. That's true on every level. Everybody has a choice of whether they accept you or not. The issue comes in is when you demand that they become something to you that you weren't to them. And I see that a lot, is that parents use that title for abuse, mental, physical. It's just, and it's subtle abuse because you have that title. It becomes that I brought you into this world. My mom used to say that all the time, uh, and it still rings in my head that I brought you in the world and I can take you out. You didn't do anything. You were a vessel. You were a conduit. You got out of the whole situation what you were supposed to get. You got the physical pleasure of laying down and making the child, and then you got the joy of bringing, of allowing your body to be able to bring something so joyous into the world. Now, from that point, your job is to guide them, to give them the wisdom and the knowledge that you've attained over the years, to uh, help them to be the best person in this world that they could be, and to understand their position in this world and what they need to provide for this world to become what it needs to be for the collective, not just for you. It's not about you, but we have so many of us that come and that bring children into the world, and we think that they're supposed to be a mini me. You do the Austin Powers thing, and you got to have the little mini me. You dress like them, or have them dress like you, and then you provide them with some of your unhealthy habits, and then you have a problem with them talking back to you when you've demanded they get up and turn the TV channel, or get you a cup of water, or do, and you demand these things as opposed to ask, would you, could you, while you're in there, thank you, please. So your actions to your children actually becomes who they want to mimic. So either they don't want to be anything like you, and they peel themselves away from you, or they want to mimic those qualities because they see the joy and the accountability and the responsibility that you bring into the world, and they want that, they like that, it feels good to them. But if it doesn't feel, they're going to go the opposite, or they're going to mimic the bad habits that you've given them and give them to somebody else. And then here we have this layer upon layer of abuse and lies and destruction, and we end up with society as such, as what we're seeing today. We have an obligation to those that we have grown up with, or raised, or uh, become a guardian in their life. We have an obligation, a responsibility, an accountability to society, to provide them with the best knowledge and understanding that they can have to become who they need to be to help this world evolve. But we can't do that if we don't change ourselves. If we don't take a moment and take a look at what I might have done to disturb the direction of this being, this person that I've chosen to bring into this world. It's your responsibility as an individual, as a parent, as a guardian, to heal yourself, to take a look at yourself, and peel away those things that you've accidentally, on purpose, given to your offspring. There's so many things we do as guardians, as parents, as family members to each other, and we brush it off as, ah, that's just who I am. Again, you have the life that you have because you choose to. You can change if you want to, but you have to want to. You have to be sick and tired of seeing yourself. That moment that you hear yourself when you say something derogatory or mean or hateful or just selfish, you have an obligation to the world to change those thoughts, those ideals and ideas about who you think you are and your position. We tend to think that we're more important than the next person. Even as people walking down the street, there could be two people walking down the street going opposite directions, and one person decides that they're going to take up the entire sidewalk because that's who they are. They feel that they're more important than you, taking up the same space, or I'm entitled. This entitlement thing is gotten out of hand. It's just gotten totally out of hand. Nobody's entitled to anything. I don't care what title you have in somebody's life. You are not entitled to make them be of servitude to you. Who are you? Who are you to make somebody else in servitude of you? That's something that we need to ask ourselves with every interaction. Who am I to demand, to feel entitled? Who are you? Answer that question. Answer that question, and you'll get an honest answer. Now, the issue is, will you respond with a change within yourself? Will you take a moment and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Or what is it that makes me do this? And then find that part of you, heal that part of you. You can even go to your own child and say, hey, I know I did so and so, so and so. I know I was a butthole to you. I know I did certain things. These things were passed down to me, and I didn't take a look at myself and make that change. And forgive me. Forgive me for not knowing. I forgive myself for not knowing. Let's start from this point. There's always an opportunity to repair what it is or what it was that was lost. But sometimes it has to take the bigger you to see that, to have the courage to make the change and love enough to go to the other person and relieve them of that burden that they took on by being a part of your life. Thanks for listening.